The GAU-8 Avenger is not just a gun, it is the heart of the A-10 Thunderbolt II, a 7-barrel 30mm rotary cannon, designed specifically to kill tanks, and its sound alone strikes fear into anyone who hears it, because each second it fires nearly 4,000 armor-piercing rounds, capable of ripping through steel like paper, making it one of the most lethal, close air support weapons ever created, and a symbol of raw battlefield dominance. The MG-151-20 autocannon was one of Nazi Germany's most feared aircraft weapons, mounted on fighters like the Bf-109 and FW-190, delivering devastating explosive shells that could tear enemy aircraft apart with just a few hits, proving that firepower and precision together could decide air battles in seconds. The GAU-8 Avenger is one of the most terrifying aircraft-mounted weapons ever created, not because of speed or stealth, but because of pure, overwhelming firepower. Designed during the Cold War, this massive 30mm rotary cannon was built specifically to destroy heavily armored ground targets, including main battle tanks. The gun is so large that the A-10 aircraft was literally designed around it, with the cannon forming the core of the plane's structure. Weighing over 600 pounds without ammunition and firing depleted uranium rounds, the GAU-8 can unleash up to 3,900 rounds per minute, turning the battlefield into a storm of metal in seconds. Its distinctive sound, often described as a deep mechanical roar, has become legendary among soldiers on the ground. Unlike precision missiles, the Avenger dominates through sustained fire, ripping through armor, vehicles, and fortifications with brutal efficiency. The psychological impact alone is enormous, as enemies often abandon positions the moment the A-10 appears. What makes this weapon especially deadly is its accuracy at low altitude, allowing pilots to visually confirm targets while delivering devastating fire. Even decades after its introduction, no other aircraft cannon combines durability, lethality, and fear factor quite like the GAU-8 Avenger. The AGM-65 Maverick is one of the most successful air-to-ground missiles ever mounted on combat aircraft, designed to give pilots the ability to destroy hardened targets from a safe distance. Entering service in the early 1970s, the Maverick revolutionized close air support and strike missions by combining powerful warheads with advanced guidance systems. Depending on the variant, the missile uses electro-optical, infrared, or laser guidance, allowing pilots to lock on to tanks, bunkers, ships, and fortified structures with extreme accuracy. Once launched, the Maverick becomes a fire-and-forget weapon, freeing the aircraft to evade threats immediately. Its warhead is capable of obliterating armored vehicles with a single hit, making it a preferred choice during conflicts from the Gulf War to modern operations. Mounted on aircraft like the A-10, F-16, and F-A-18, the Maverick gives air forces the ability to strike decisively without prolonged exposure to enemy air defenses. What makes this missile especially deadly is its balance of precision and destructive power, reducing collateral damage while ensuring total target destruction. For decades, the AGM-65 has remained a symbol of modern aerial warfare efficiency. The AIM-120 AMRAAM changed air combat forever by giving fighter pilots the ability to engage enemies beyond visual range with deadly accuracy. Introduced in the 1990s, this missile replaced older semi-active radar weapons by using its own onboard radar system, allowing pilots to fire and disengage instantly. Once launched, the AMRAAM guides itself toward the target, making it extremely difficult to evade. Mounted on aircraft such as the F-15, F-16, F-18, and F-35, this missile has become the backbone of modern air superiority. Its compact design allows fighters to carry multiple AMRAAMs, increasing lethality in a single engagement. The missile's speed, agility, and electronic countermeasures make it one of the most reliable air-to-air weapons ever built. In real combat situations, the AIM-120 has achieved a high success rate, reinforcing its reputation as a silent hunter of the skies. Unlike guns or short-range missiles, the AMRAAM ends fights before enemies even know they are under attack, redefining what it means to dominate the air. The AGM-114 Hellfire missile is one of the most feared precision weapons ever mounted on aircraft, designed specifically to eliminate high-value targets with ruthless accuracy. Originally developed during the Cold War as an anti-tank missile, Hellfire quickly evolved into a multi-role weapon capable of destroying armored vehicles, bunkers, radar stations, and fortified enemy positions. Mounted on attack helicopters, like the AH-64 Apache, and later adapted for fixed-wing aircraft and drones, Hellfire represents the shift toward precision warfare. The missile uses laser guidance, allowing it to strike moving targets with astonishing reliability. What makes Hellfire exceptionally deadly is its tandem charge warhead, engineered to defeat reactive armor before penetrating the target. In modern conflicts, Hellfire has become synonymous with surgical strikes, often eliminating targets within seconds of detection. Its relatively small size allows aircraft to carry multiple missiles, turning a single platform into a lethal hunter. Over decades of combat use, Hellfire has proven that precision can be just as devastating as raw firepower, cementing its place among the deadliest aircraft-mounted weapons in history. The GBU-31 JDAM transformed ordinary gravity bombs into smart, precision-guided weapons, changing the face of modern air warfare. By integrating GPS guidance systems, JDAM kits allow bombs to strike targets with pinpoint accuracy regardless of weather conditions or visibility. Mounted on aircraft such as the F-15, F-16, B-2, and F-35, the GBU-31 is capable of destroying hardened structures, command centers, and underground bunkers. Unlike traditional bombs, JDAMs can be released from high altitude, keeping aircraft safely out of range of enemy defenses. The sheer destructive power of the bomb, combined with its accuracy, makes it one of the most lethal air-delivered weapons ever used. JDAMs played a decisive role in conflicts like the Gulf War and beyond, where precision strikes crippled enemy infrastructure in the opening hours of combat. What makes this weapon especially deadly is its cost-effectiveness. Simple upgrades turned massive stockpiles of bombs into precision killers. The GBU-31 represents the perfect balance between destructive force and modern targeting technology. The AC-130 gunship is not defined by a single weapon, but by an entire arsenal mounted on one aircraft, making it one of the most devastating airborne platforms ever created. Equipped with side-firing cannons, including 25mm Gatling guns, 40mm Bofors cannons, and 105mm howitzers, the AC-130 delivers continuous, precise fire while circling above the battlefield. Unlike fast jets that strike once and leave, the gunship remains overhead, providing relentless fire support to ground forces. Its advanced sensors, night vision systems, and targeting computers allow it to engage targets with incredible accuracy, even in complete darkness. The psychological effect of an AC-130 is overwhelming. Enemies often scatter the moment its fire begins. Mounted on a large transport airframe, the gunship carries massive amounts of ammunition, enabling prolonged engagements. Throughout multiple conflicts, the AC-130 has earned a reputation as an unstoppable airborne fortress. Its ability to dominate an area for hours makes it one of the deadliest aircraft-mounted weapon systems ever deployed. The AIM-9 Sidewinder is one of the most iconic and deadly air-to-air weapons ever mounted on an aircraft, shaping aerial combat for more than half a century. First introduced in the 1950s, the Sidewinder revolutionized dogfighting by using infrared heat-seeking technology to lock onto enemy aircraft engines. Its simplicity, reliability, and lethal effectiveness made it a global standard, adopted by dozens of air forces worldwide. Mounted on nearly every major Western fighter jet, from the F-4 Phantom to the F-22 Raptor, the Sidewinder has remained relevant through continuous upgrades. What makes this missile especially deadly is its close-range agility, allowing it to track fast-moving targets during intense maneuvers. Over decades of combat, the AIM-9 has scored numerous confirmed kills, proving its effectiveness in real-world engagements. The psychological impact of knowing an invisible heat-seeking missile is tracking an aircraft has made the Sidewinder a feared presence in the skies. Even in the age of stealth and beyond visual range combat, the AIM-9 remains a lethal, last-resort weapon that often decides the outcome of close aerial battles. The KH-47 Kinzhal represents a new era of aerial weaponry, combining extreme speed with devastating strike capability. Mounted on high-speed aircraft like the MiG-31K, this hypersonic missile travels at speeds exceeding Mach 10, making interception nearly impossible with current defense systems. Designed to strike high-value targets such as aircraft carriers, hardened bunkers, and strategic infrastructure, Kinzhal drastically shortens reaction time for defenders. What makes this weapon especially deadly is its maneuverability at hypersonic speed, allowing it to evade tracking systems while delivering a powerful payload. Unlike traditional cruise missiles, Kinzhal follows an unpredictable flight path, complicating enemy defenses. Its deployment marked a significant shift in global military balance, as hypersonic weapons challenged decades-old air defense concepts. Mounted on aircraft, Kinzhal benefits from high-altitude, high-speed launch conditions, further increasing its range and lethality. This missile symbolizes the future of aerial warfare, where speed itself becomes the most powerful weapon. The V-1 flying bomb was one of the earliest examples of an aircraft-mounted and air-launched terror weapon, changing warfare during World War II. Launched from modified aircraft and ground ramps, the V-1 functioned as an early cruise missile, powered by a pulse jet engine that produced its infamous buzzing sound. Though primitive by modern standards, the V-1 introduced the concept of unmanned aerial weapons, capable of striking cities far behind enemy lines. Its psychological impact was immense, as civilians learned to fear the sudden silence that preceded an explosion. Mounted and deployed through aerial platforms, the V-1 represented a terrifying leap in long-range strike capability. Thousands were launched during the war, forcing defenders to develop entirely new interception tactics. The V-1 laid the groundwork for modern cruise missiles, proving that aircraft-mounted launch systems could deliver destruction without risking pilots. Historically, it stands as one of the deadliest and most influential aerial weapons ever created.